breaks with her husband on one of the most critical issues of this campaign, abortion, really one of the most critical issues in the country. So The Guardian, this happened after The Guardian first reported that Melania Trump was expressing support for abortion rights. And just moments ago, she put out a new video. Let's watch.
Individual freedom is a fundamental principle that I safeguard. Without a doubt, there is no room for compromise when it comes to this essential right that all women possess from birth, individual freedom. What does my body, my choice really mean?
All right, to be clear, the black and white choice in the music was part of the video that Melania Trump just released there. With us now, CNN senior political commentator Van Jones, former Trump administration officials Matt Mowers. Van, so that's the first time I saw that video, and it just came out a short time ago there. And it really does beg a lot of questions. I mean, number one, is it A, to sell books? Is it B, some grand break in your face to her husband on a key campaign issue? Is it nine-dimensional chess where she's trying to present this case to voters that, hey, there can be disagreement on this issue?
I have no idea. First of all, why is she, maybe she's trying to come out of the shadows? I mean, just, you have the music in the background, her face is like half shaded. It's getting us talking about the book. It's definitely good for book sales. This is either one or two things. This is a big break with her husband and saying, I just don't agree, and I have my own book and my own stand and I don't care. Or it is 27-dimensional chess. And people say, well, maybe she will soften Trump on abortion, so maybe some suburban housewives and women and voters will change their position. But this is bizarre. I don't think you've ever seen in the history of American politics a former first lady or the spouse of a candidate come out with a book and a video saying, I don't agree with my husband's party on a key issue. It's never happened before, ever.
The language she used there was the language that Kamala Harris could have used on the stumper Tim Walz the other night in the debate.
Beyonce music could have been in the background talking about freedom. Hey, listen, you got Cheney coming out today. Maybe Melania comes out tomorrow with Kamala Harris. It could happen.
Okay. Now you're just talking crazy.
Well, so you all saw there the strategy, right, folks? Strategy. These guys are making fun of Melania. Van Jones is saying that, put some Beyonce music behind there. And now you're going to have, Melania for Kamala Harris. That's going to be the next step. And they're all besides themselves because these people actually think that the public, that the people that they're reporting to, their viewership are so dense, so effing stupid, so moronic, that we're so retarded that we actually think, or that people actually think that this just came out of the freaking blue, that Melania just decided to write a book a couple of days ago, put it all together, never had it vetted, never talked to President Trump, nobody in the Republican Party, nobody in the Trump family, nobody knew anything about the excerpts or anything like that at all. That's what they're trying to make us believe and wonder, how could it be? Folks, do you really think that President Trump or the Trump campaign or even Melania would have put that out if they thought it was going to have some type of a destructive effect on the campaign? But see, this is where they're trying to spin the narrative, and I'm going to go into a video for you where you've got MSDNC, MSLSD, MSNBC, and Mika Brzezinski talking to a panel, and they're going to obviously go after Melania and give us their narrative of how this really, really is going to be destructive for the Republicans and for Donald Trump, where they could not be further from the truth. Because you know what this is going to signal, folks? This is what they're hiding. This is not what they're telling you. If you have some suburban women out there, suburban moms, or maybe some people, women just on the fence, maybe some men too, but mostly women, They all know that women have the ear of their husbands or their significant other, the men in their lives. And they can talk to them. They can whisper in their ears. They can make them maybe take a look at it from another angle. So if you can get even a small segment and move the range of that gender gap with women for Donald Trump, which you say is so great in favor of Kamala Harris, and it is. But if you can get some of those women to say, you know what? I didn't know Melania was pro-choice. And listen, that's her opinion. I don't like that opinion. I have to accept that opinion. And I'm quite shocked myself, but that's her opinion. And that's fine. We have a large tent here. But I have a feeling that politically and strategically, this is an absolutely 1,000%, whatever they said, 9-dimensional or 27-dimensional chess, 4D chess, while everybody else is playing political checkers. Because now you can have women that are saying, you know what, maybe Trump gets in office, Melania is going to be, whispering in his ear, talking to him that this is something that the book's going to come out. It's going to give even more background in terms of, about how she came to this decision, how long she's had this, opinion, what formulated it, and other things that are going to come out from that book. That's what I'm saying. They knew this was in there. But they're afraid now. They're all saying, oh, it's never happened in the history that the first lady of a presidential candidate or a previous president actually came out in stark contrast to what the party has as its platform. What the hell are they talking about? Yes, this is a huge issue. And there's going to be a lot of Republicans that are going to be taken aback by this on the pro-life side. I mean, I was. But you know what? She can voice her opinion. We don't have to agree with it. But now that it's out there, if I knew ahead of time that this was going on, I myself would have basically said the exact same thing, that politically and strategically, this is a great move. Because it's going to let women out there know that may have not been wanting to vote for President Trump, but with everything that's gone on in his life, everything that's happened between him and Melania, and she's still there, and she has her own opinion, that's going to make, I think, a lot of women think and go, maybe I can vote for Donald Trump. Or at least have them think about it. Anyways, folks, let's go to that panel on MSLSD. Check this out, folks.
And cannot independently confirm its contents or the Guardian's reporting. Joanna Coles, your thoughts? Kind of wish she might have said something to him, maybe,
Well, I mean, Melania has asserted control over her own body because she's removed it from living with Donald Trump, and she's now back in New York overseeing Barron's education at NYU. Look, this is a very familiar Republican trope. The wives come out and say they believe in abortion rights when their husbands, who have the power to actually take away women's rights, and we've seen that with the extraordinary boasting by Donald Trump of his victory with the Supreme Court dismantling Roe versus Wade. This is when they have the men have the power to actually take away the rights, and then the women simper around saying, oh goodness, well, I didn't believe it. I don't think we should take this remotely seriously, but I am myopically interested in anything Melania has to say, because I do think that she, as your co-host actually on your podcast, Catty, Anthony Scaramucci said very clearly, she absolutely hates him.
So she brings up Anthony Scaramucci, who I think is one of the scummiest scumbags, asswipe, in terms of a human being. This guy has no knowledge whatsoever, none whatsoever, but yet is saying that Melania hates him. You can throw that out there. But where's your evidence? Where's your direct quote? Did you ask Melania, you scumbag Scaramucci, whether or not she hates her husband? Just throw that out there? As a matter of fact? And then obviously, this so-called journalist, who you know doesn't like Melania, let me take a look. Compare her to Melania. There's no contest. Melania beats her in everything. Brains. Beauty. She's got a book out. I don't know if this lady can read or write, but she can certainly give her opinion of what's going on. Anyways, let's continue.
The longer she stays away from him, perhaps the more she'll regain her sanity. But I don't think that we should be taking Melania's pronouncements on policy remotely seriously.
I think it is interesting that she decided to go as far as she had in the book, because at one point in the book, according to The Guardian's reporting here, and they've seen a copy, I haven't seen a copy, she says, I don't weigh into policy, I don't talk about politics. And then later on in the book, she has this, quite forthright comments on abortion, which don't really fit with her protestations that she's not going to talk about politics, because this is clearly a very political issue. I don't know that this makes any difference in terms of the election or the grander scheme of things, but it is worth pointing out that one of the most pro-choice groups in the United States at the moment is young men under the age of 40, who actually have turned out in all of those referendums that we've had in Kentucky and Kansas and Ohio. They've turned out to defeat restrictions on abortion. I don't know if Melania is talking to those young men particularly. She may be talking just to their wives, but this is, she's in line with where most of the United States is, and all the polling shows where the population is. She's just not particularly in line with where her husband's politics are.
Well, she may have been speaking to those young men with her naked pictures when she did the nude photo shoots in GQ. But we can't forget that Laura Bush did this too, right? Laura Bush came out and made it clear that she was actually in favour of abortion rights when we knew that her husband was.
So I was going to bring that up too, where Van Jones, remember, he said, no, but this has never, ever happened before. Van, brah, come on, brah. George Bush, evangelical vote that put him into office, pro-life president. And what did his wife come out? And I believe his daughters as well. But again, I have to say that every single time, and this applies to Melania as well, when you talk pro-choice, I think Melania maybe, I'm not sure, this is again just my opinion, haven't asked obviously, but it could be that Melania herself, what better way to attract women to defend you who may have not wanted to defend you in the past, who now will come out and say, well, wow, have maybe some empathy for her. So again, politically, strategically, this isn't out to sell books. You think Melania needs money? She's already got the advance. Does it put some meat on the bone out there? Oh, absolutely. Some raw meat. She just threw it right out there. So there's a whole host of reasons why there, but to think that this was not vetted or thought about, or that Melania just said, I'm going to do this with or without you, like, sticking a jab because everybody thinks that she hates Trump. Listen, there's a lot of things about it. If that's the thing, I didn't hear any one of these people, I didn't hear this reporter or the so-called, journalist woman say anything about hearing that Hillary Clinton hates Bill Clinton. Did you? Maybe I missed it. If you guys know of a clip or something out there, put it down in the comments below. Let us know. But that's why I said, when they can talk about what's good for the goose, it's not good for the gander. So everybody seems to forget about those things. So I said before, I think strategically, this is brilliant strategy. Because it doesn't harm you in the least. Because if those women were going to vote against Trump to begin with, what do you have to bring them over to your side? If they're already going to vote against you, because you probably have some women that are not going to vote for Trump no matter what. We already know that, baked in. But there might be some of those that maybe they're just on the fence, as I said before. And is there a way of getting even a point shift, couple of points to your side? Every single point in that demographic makes a difference. Because you already know Trump has blown it away with white men and doing unbelievably great, improving on his numbers of black men under 50. So how do you get those, maybe those leaning women? There's no harm in this at all. Now, let's say she had come out and said that she was very heavily pro-life. Think about that for a second, folks. If the book and the experts that she came out pro-life, those women that hate Donald Trump are going to hate him even more, are going to hate her even more. So while the Van Joneses of the world and the CNNs of the world and the MSNBCs of the world are trying to spin this narrative that what's going on, this is going to be detrimental, this is bad, this is great for Kamala Harris, she's going to, the next thing is that Melania is going to come out for Harris. Beyonce music in the background, Taylor Swift music in the background. Folks, that's not it at all. Anyways, I like your opinions. Share your thoughts. Put them down below. Folks, you've been watching the Dr. Nasser Shake Show. I've been your host. My name is Dr. Nasser. If you've done so already, subscribe to the channel, like, share, and follow us. Let us know what you think. My final thought is always, when you're right, you're right. And when you're left, you're wrong. Until next time, folks, take care and stay safe.